and I mentioned it in a post on Instagram, but I wanted to quickly do a really to the point video, uh, about how I feel like I really want to at some point get this entrepreneurship, education, hybrid concept and thing going somewhere. Whether it's like New York or California, those are more typical places for that sort of thing to take root and to flourish. But always going through the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Portland, even Southern Oregon, I feel like there's in Washington State too, some places there's potential for that sort of thing to take off, especially with, on Instagram, all of those specifically the women, the Her Pacific Northwest Life hashtag, and you can see just the unbridled potential of the region and the area, and I just feel like more businesses should be coming out of that, you know what I mean, and more nonprofits should be coming out of that, and more art should be coming out of that. That just cultural resource, and how, what a great role model, even for me as a guy, those people are on Instagram. I should be, it encourages me to go out with my camera and go for a hike or something with my dog versus, just being depressed or something in a city environment. So, I think that's really important, but I really feel like I want to, build something on that pi ratio, on that 3.14 pi ratio, because it's like, even for me, like some of my goals and my projects, I need other people to help encourage me, to help keep me accountable, to keep me on point, and to have other people as a resource, and then in turn be a resource for them. So again, just to kind of pitch again and recapitulate my idea, and the concept is to have it be something again like a hybrid education, social entrepreneurship incubator accelerator type program, where it's like probably older college kids, postgraduate type kids, and young people, 20s and 30s type age bracket. You're going there and you're working in some sort of a business or group of businesses for wages, for about 9 days, which would be, if you're looking at a month, 30-day month, that's about the pi ratio. And then for the rest of the time, the other 21 days, the other 3/4 of it roughly, you're going to go and you're going to pursue, you're going to have money, and you're going to go out and you're going to chase your own dream. You're going to go do a film, you're going to go hike part of the Pacific Northwest Trail, you're going to go take some startup funds, and you're going to launch a business idea, you're going to do this, that, or the other thing, but we're keeping with a values approach, and in a social mission type tagline attached towards those endeavors, but in those pursuits, but then come back at the end, so you've got a precise amount of time, and you're there's almost a pressure, there's opportunity, and you've got support, and you've got resources to go with, try to achieve and to try to tackle that goal, and to come back with something that can make money for that, for the investors and for that core business too. So if we invest in something and someone goes and works on it, and they end up successful, maybe they've launched a new app for an iPhone, or they make a short film about some injustice, or they write a book, or write a novel or something like that about an experience like the Pacific Northwest Trail. Those are just some sort of almost cheesy examples, but examples I wanted to make just off the top of my head. And then a percentage of the funds from those things, would go back into supporting that core business. And, the example I used for a core business driving through Southern Oregon was like, I can't even say the word, but, a acai bowl business or something like that. And, but just something, something that could generate a lot of profit, and it could be something for people to go back to, and they're not going to get hurt doing it. It's not like something really risky and dangerous, but it's something that could be sort of like a hub, sort of like the core, and provide wages, but provide a place for community, and then have people just constantly growing and going off that. So maybe someone's going to go through the cycle for a year or something, or three, or for a summer, and they're going to go out and they're going to work on something for those 21 days, and come back and work for the 10 days. Before they're actually able to make the profit and launch it to the point where they don't have to necessarily be coming back and working for those 10-day wages anymore, because they've had enough success with one of their projects or their ideas to where there will be cash flow, or they've basically launched themselves. So then there'll be still some money maybe coming back, a small percentage, to support that core business, and they'll always have that community as a resource to be part of. So it's very an idealistic approach towards things, but it's someone, in terms of me, I want to revolutionize that. I want to revolutionize business, because everyone goes that works at Starbucks, they're working the summer months for wages, or they're in college the rest of the year and they're in debt because they're taking out loans and stuff. a lot of that stuff, 40-hour work week, blah blah blah. It's been around forever, and it makes sense to some degrees. But there's also room for improvement. It's 2019. I think we need to, you know, culturally, America needs to rise to the challenge and realize that a lot of this stuff might not be designed the best, and there's obviously ways we can try to innovate and be creative and but again, I think it is for people that are a little bit older. I think that they're having a lot of structure with high school and early college years is important, and having the structure is important. But this is more for like a postgraduate type thing, and people a little bit older. So it's and people really, arts, entrepreneurship, adventure type people who already have ideas and momentum. And there's a lot of that in Oregon. I feel like in Bend, in Portland, there's a lot of people who are already have a lot of momentum and are pursuing this type of stuff. But I was just like, is there a way to sort of knit them together in terms of socially conscious, young, active, outdoor, intelligent, passionate, driven, entrepreneurial. There's so many people like that, but give them sort of a way to kind of knit together and feed off each other's energy, and to be passionate and to be effective and to support each other as they launch a variety of different endeavors, projects, social mission driven businesses. And I think it's a brilliant idea. I don't personally have, it's not like something I personally have tons of money to develop right now, but I would love to have the support around me and the funds too at some point, and have other people with the funds and the support around them too, to be cohesive, to work together and sort of try to accomplish that mission for not just ourselves, but for the generations that will come after us. The young people coming after us. The kids that were 19, 20 years old now, and in 4 or 5 years would be they would really benefit from this type of thing. And I know when I was a little bit younger, I had a lot of momentum and ideas and stuff, and I certainly would have benefited from this sort of thing too. Just in terms of having the community and having the support and that sort of thing, to be able, when you've got an idea, to be held accountable, and to be like, and have a timeline, and to have people encourage you, and have a little bit of money too to go do it, but then also and have a design to try to to generate profit for these other people who are working to support you, and but to have some core businesses too.